All right, so today I'm going to start prepping some of the stuff I need to deal with for the interior. This is the rear armrest panel. I think I'm going to probably just weld in a piece in place of the ashtray because I don't really see myself needing that. But here's the kicker. With mini tubs, we got to take some of this off because where it used to go down in beside the wheel well, now it has to kind of run into the wheel well. So I've got to trim this up a bit. I'm going to cut and fit it, get it sorted, then I'll come back and do the same thing with this piece, which is this is the well piece to cover the piston for the convertible top. So I'm going to get started doing that this morning and go as far as I can. All right, so I've got those trimmed up so they fit okay to the mini tubs. I have modified them, screwed them all in place. I think I'm all set. Only one problem, when I went to put the top down, when I would check that, this arm here is too close, it's gonna hit. So now I've got to pull them back off. And I think the seatbelt bracket here, I'm hoping this isn't a problem, but I got a little bit more ways to go here, so I might be okay there. But got to check that against the window and everything else. So I'm gonna do a few more tests here, but I'm gonna pull this off, this plate off. Like I said, I'm a little concerned about this. There's still a little space there. Hopefully it's okay. But I'm going to pull this off, trim the well panel down, probably, I don't know, to equal to this point, and then I'll roll a bead on it so it has a nice edge. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's going to require more trimming, no doubt about it. So if I come down here about an inch in the front and just take a solid inch all the way around, I think I'd be in pretty good shape. I'm going to start with that and see where I get. Still playing with these. Okay, so I'm back on the inner quarter panel parts, trim panels and stuff. And I'm going to tack in a small plate, cover up the ashtrays, because I don't see myself needing that. So I'm just going to tack those plates in and give that a little bit of time to rest, and I'll start wrapping it with the foam. All right, so I've slapped the panels back in real quick just because I wanted to get a line right through here as to where that intersection was with a Sharpie. Doesn't look like it actually worked. But yeah, and the idea now is I've got to upholster those pieces. So I'm going to take a minute, pull them all back out. They're all test fit. They seem fine. It's time to put the vinyl on them and some padding. So I'll bring you back for that. All right, so the first step is I'm taking one of these armrest panels. I'm using this 3M80 product for this. It's specific to rubber, foam rubber, and vinyl. Foam rubber and vinyl actually leach a little bit of oil when it starts to get old or hot, cold. And this material actually kind of combats that. So, yeah, gonna try to work this out and get this all put together. I forgot to do one thing. I wanted to drill this hole out a little bigger, which I'll do before I put it together. But this material, you only need to let it sit for about, it says about 4 minutes. Allow at least 4 minutes drying time and then press the surfaces together. So, yeah, I've traced out the back on my piece of foam rubber. I think you can see that. And now I'm just gonna, gently and adhere that together, roll it out a little bit, and then come back, trim it up, fold it over, do all the good stuff. So we'll see what we get. Okay, I'm just literally marking the outline so I know where to put my glue. Again, the 3M80. This stuff lays down fast. Fast. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. I don't want to spray this all over my table because, well, I stole that from the house. There we go. Let that set up for a minute and I'll spray this out over it. Any overspray will go right onto my foam. Oh yeah, this stuff smells amazing. Not. All right, let me hit this side. Okay, I'll give that a couple minutes to set up. Look at the strings hanging off that, it's pretty crazy. All right, we'll give that like 5 minutes. All right, this should be tacky enough. We'll check it. The idea is you want to be able to touch it without peeling it up. Some of this really heavy area, I don't know. But anyway, we're good to go. We're gonna go. So I'm just gonna try to keep it off the glue until I'm ready. But I'm gonna line it up with my line. It's only got to be close. Doesn't have to be perfect. I put extra glue on there just in case. Okay, so the other time I did this, I had a little bubble under here. We'll check for that in a second. Then it'll come up slowly around this bend. Seal that off. Excellent. Now, we'll trim this out. Cut this off because it's just going to be in the way now. And again, this is just, I think it's 1/8 inch upholstery foam. It's very thin. It's just enough to give it a little bit of padding, but mostly just to keep these features from showing through the actual vinyl. So that's why you do this. Okay, I'll peel that back a little bit. Try to get that stuck up in there better. And I'm trimming back so that this slip does not have upholstery on it, because I want that to I just want a single layer of vinyl so where it goes under the windlace. Don't want any extra thickness there. Okay. Now, I will roll this up. This contact cement's amazing. It works really good. Now, again, I'm gonna cut down in here with this. Oh, should have paid attention there. I had some pulls in the foam rubber, but it's all right. Vinyl will cover that right up. Okay, now I'm gonna leave a little bit more of a gap away from this edge, because this is where the door card sits. I want just a little gap in there, so the door card's happy. There we go. Now, I'm just gonna slice around my knife getting a little gummed up. I'll slice around the outline, and that's that. That's it, trimmed up. And one more piece up here. That's it. There we go. A little bubble to work out, but that's it. Okay, so I've got everything covered with the foam. Now I've sprayed the adhesive on the foam and on the cover, and I'm just going to apply that. If I can remember how. Here we go. I'm going to stuff that up in there nice and tight. And then I'll start working that down from the other side. And stretching it as I go. So, the trick is you just want to get this laid on there nice with no wrinkles or bunches like I have. We'll get there. These covers came from, I believe these came from Classic Industries. It might have been Ames, I can't remember now. And they're just, really nice laid out vinyl covers to redo these pieces. They apply nice. They got all the stitching in the right places. And now I'm just going to work this edge up over. Now, I had a little relief cut in here for the seat belt brackets to kind of stick up in here, but I'm not going to relieve the vinyl from there because the vinyl will just conform around it nicely. So yeah, this looks good. This 80 works a lot quicker than the 90, but it doesn't go as far, I'll tell you that. I'm running out, so I'm going to have to go pick some more up. I believe my local Ace Hardware has it. So now I'm just gonna, I've already got adhesive on this side. I'm just gonna apply some adhesive on the flap here. The other thing I wanna do is mark with some chalk where those holes are before it's too late. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Then I can push them through with the awl once I get everything glued up. All right, so now I'm just going to hit the back side of this where I can flap that over. This already has glue on it. Then I'll glue the rest of this panel up. A lot of guys will tell you don't use this stuff, use the real upholstery glue that you spray in an air gun and all that, but I can't be bothered to get all set up with that. This stuff works fine, sticks good. I'm not disappointed in it, at least not yet. Might come back a year from now and say, well, that shit sucked, but we'll see. All right, applied. Now, I'm gonna let that set up for a minute, and I'm gonna kind of work this edge over. And again, I'm leaving some overlap that can just, you know, especially back here, and I'll show you when I get ready to trim it what I mean by that. Okay, so now I'm going to start working from the top. Spin around here so you can see it. Just going to work from the top, slowly apply this on the inside now. Obviously a little less critical on the inside, but still you want it to look nice. Forgot something. All right, now I'll put a little strip of glue here, strip of tape down this edge, just so I don't get glue everywhere. Then I'm going to apply some glue in here. So that I can stick that flap on there. Okay, there we go. Now, we'll let that set up for a minute while I work the rest of this edge down here. Now, that all should work pretty good. I like the fact that they give you enough vinyl to do the front and the rear here, the inside and the outside of this piece, which makes it pretty nice. And if you'll remember, I didn't cut this sheet metal really close to the metal here. I left a little bit of working room, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. There we go. Should all work out pretty good. Make sure I didn't lose any ground here on the front. That all looks good, except for I got a bunch of glue on it. Just not unexpected. I'm not an upholstery guy. Never done this before, but yeah, this is working. I watched a lot of YouTube on it. All right, now I'm going to work back up on this edge. Start to stretch that in so it comes up. Now I'm going to trim off some excess here because I had to do this on the other side too, just to make it so it's nice and even with that lip. Okay, there we go. So I've left that down about 3/4 of an inch, keeping that exposed. Just gonna trim this corner a little bit right here so it's not looking goofy. And again, I've left a little excess material right here so that that seatbelt bracket has clearance up through here and it's not pushing out on the metal. Don't care if it pushes out on the vinyl a little bit, but not the metal. Metal would be bad. All right, now I'm just going to trim off my bottoms. trimmed down here. Just want to trim this off. And again, if there's a little excess there, it's okay. As long as it's sealed up good. This is where the interface on the other side is. And I've totally lost my chalk mark. Awesome. It's right there. I'll show you how I'm going to work those holes in later. Okay, now over here, I'm going to take my knife if I can find it. Oh, good. Lost the knife. Again, leaving a small flap down here, which won't really matter, and a small flap around the backside just to let this sit up against the wheel tub without having a metal on metal interface. Save these two pieces, show you for that what that's about later. I just want to even that up a little bit, kind of looks ragged. All right, now I'm going to trim in tight to this flange here. So that I can get the screws through it. That's behind the seat. That certainly doesn't need to be covered. And then I'm going to trim the back off even with that. All right, there you have it. Looking pretty good. No bubbles. Just got to put my holes in it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that after I do the armrests. Yeah, there we go. Looking good. Again, I leave a little extra material here just so that it can kind of conform in case there's something visible through the seat, inside the seat. But yeah, that should work out really good. All right, so I've got these recovered. I poked some holes through with an awl just to get the starting points right. I ended up having to redo one of these armrests because it just went to hell on me. But I got it. Everything's sorted now. I'm gonna stick these in. I'll show you what I'm into. Okay, so I got the little baby door cards in. Or do I? Yeah, I guess I do. So those things there, those are TMI door cards. Just had to cut the hole out for the window crank, and then it uses the deluxe molding at the top. So you use that molding, you screw that in, and then you just clip the door panel, you slide it up underneath the molding. I used a little plastic paddle there just to kind of feed the fabric up in so it didn't bunch up. So now, I think I got to do the little triangular piece of vinyl down there at the bottom. That's the next step. So I'm going to try to get that on there next. All right, that's the little piece of black vinyl you put in there. And it literally, whoops. It's just a small piece, some contact cement. and that covers up the body paint section between the carpet and this piece that goes in here. I also put the upper pieces in. Those went in very nice. Everything was exactly how it was pre-fit. So now I'm going to put the armrest piece in, and that should wrap this up. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm going to probably wrap this one up here. Both of these armrests are in. My contact cement still being trained a little, but it's coming along. So I'm pretty happy with that. Everything's sealed up good. That's a good tight fitting setup. I did have to put that extra screw in right there. Mostly just because with the mini tubs, I think it just wanted to flare out there a little bit. So I screwed it right into that diagonal brace and it worked great. So we're gonna call that a day and move on to the next thing, which I think will be carpets.